Hello and welcome to another BNT unboxing video. Today we are taking a look, unboxing, and review of the Analogue Mega Sg. For those who don't know, this is a high-end clone system of the Sega Genesis. And like the Sega Genesis, it can have the Sega CD added onto it. The Sega CD included, and I do not have a Sega CD, so that will not be reviewed, but this is the system that they had talked about, I guess, for 6 months now. They announced it, but here it is. We got it on Tuesday. Let's take a dive into it. First, we'll take a look at the box. The box is definitely a well-constructed heft. You have the label on the front, same scheme as the Super NT of the label, and the color representing what you have inside. This one being the Japanese color scheme, if you will, of the Genesis or Master System. And you kind of have a faint layout of their logo in the front. And that's pretty much it. The box looks pretty much the same as the Super NT. Now let's open up and see what's inside. Alright, so inside we have the system, the Mega Sg. It has nice plastic film over it, so it doesn't get scratched up. Also, in the top of the lid, there is a piece of foam to protect it. So let's slide this out. Slowly peel the film off. Alright, so here's the system. As you can see, it's not very large. It's about the same size, style as the Super NT. And the color scheme, the Japanese versions I got, is the blue and red buttons. I believe the other ones were gray buttons. I'm not sure. I know one sets were gray. The other ones the European one, I don't remember what that was. And then there was an all white one. One thing I will say, the buttons on this one are not as satisfying to push as on the Super NT. The Super NT have a nice spring-loaded button that has a solid click. This one, not quite as solid. I don't want to say this, but it almost feels like a cheap toy, like pushing a cheap item. It's not cheap, it doesn't feel cheap, but the click, yeah, I know I'm weird. Anyhow, the other thing is we have a headphone jack on the front, which the original Genesis had as well, and you have your two Genesis controller ports. One thing I will note about these ports is I believe the pins are slightly thicker than an original Genesis. And I say that because I had the M30 controller, and putting the receiver in here required a lot of back and forth pushing before it was fully seated in. My Retro that has Genesis ports on it had no issue. It slid right in perfectly. So these, I believe, are a little bigger. That's not a negative. That's probably bigger. Will probably give you better contacts. On the side over here, we have our SD card slot for ROM updates or firmware updates. Someone will probably try and hack it and have it that. And then here's the bottom. Nice rubber grid. And if you do have the Sega CD available and you want to use it, there's this little tab right here. Slide it up, and there's your connector. So there's the connector for the Sega CD. I do not have one, so at the moment I will not be using it, so I'll keep the cover on. So there's that. Alright, now let's go inside and see what else we got. So we got this tray that I cannot get out. And then this is a little new. This is, oh, of course. So this is a spacer for when you use the Sega CD. Apparently the console's just a little bit short. So this will give you the correct height so that everything lines up perfectly. And then inside we have the other goodies. First we have the manual. There is a very full, in-depth manual that Analogue has on their website. Super detailed technical stuff, how to do this and that, what works on it, shortcut keys to get back to the menu, get into the system. Some really cool stuff. But this right here is just the simple manual of welcome, how to do it. You got a little line drawing of the console. And then with any controller, here's how you get to the main menu. And then your Master System adapter. The Master System adapter is right here. I have not opened it yet. I do not have any Master System games. It's pretty cool. Clear plastic with the connector and everything revealed. But you plug this into the top, plug your Master System game in, and you'd be good to go. Let's pull this whole tray out. Then we have the micro USB power cord. Oh, it's stuck. Whoa, that's no tight. The power brick for the USB cable, that's in very tight. And then an HDMI cable with the Analogue logo. I know the system is kind of expensive, you know, it's $190. But anytime someone throws in a HDMI cable, I don't know, I find that very nice. Even though HDMI cable, like this HDMI cable is probably $1. And that's if I bought it off eBay. And that's the system. That's the unboxing of the system. We'll pop over and do some video of gameplay and system setup. Alright, so this is the system starting up. This is the Mega Sg boot up. We'll take a look at the video options. The system does give you options for 480, 720, and 1080p. I have it set to 720p at 60 frames because my capture card will accept 720p at 60 frames per second. It will also accept 1080i at 60, but it does not accept 1080p. And I've tried 1080i and 1080p, it will not. Nothing comes in. So 720 is what I have to have it at to capture anything. I could upgrade my card, but it works, so I'm staying with it. There's also options for scalers and scan lines. Right now I'm leaving the scaler at none. When I put it at, I think, 2x or 3x, there was a green line on the far right side of the screen. It only appeared in gameplay, so it's not showing up in the menus, but that's why I leave those off, and I personally don't like scan lines. To me, an old CRT has scan lines. That's just part of it. They don't stand out the way artificial scan lines do, so I keep all that stuff off. We'll go through a couple of games, just some playthrough, and I have to say some of these games look pretty crisp, especially Sonic. Sonic 2 was very crisp. The I don't know, the colors or anything just looked rich. Some of their games, they had that pixel art feel, but Sonic, to me, really didn't. But everything looked really good, even at 720. You bump up to 1080 if you're just using a monitor, it'll be fine. If you have a capture card that's not particular, you could probably capture at 1080p. The video quality and thus far the sound quality has been very phenomenal. The only game that didn't play in this system was because I had to clean the connector. Clean the connector, bam, it worked right away. So no issues at all. Now I don't have an extensive library of Genesis games. I only have 6 or 7, 8 maybe. I think 8. Yeah, I think I have 8 Genesis games, so not a lot. But I went through them all. They all played. They all look good. It's a very enjoyable system. If you have Genesis games or you want to get into Genesis games, I would highly recommend this. It is a lot more expensive than a Sega Genesis. And if you have an old CRT TV that you can hook a Genesis up to, that might be a cheaper route. Now, Genesis, because they're getting old, some of them may have issues, which is why this is a better option, because it's newer, so there's less things to go wrong now. Maybe in 20 years, you could have issues, but the Genesis, they're just getting old, so some of those capacitors are going to be going bad. Which isn't in the world for them. It's something that needs to be taken care of, and this kind of solves it. And if you don't have the right TV for it, the older systems, newer TVs don't understand 240p, so it looks like crap. So if you don't have a old CRT TV and you want to play Genesis games, I recommend this or some other clone console. Preferably this one, not having problems with it, and the quality's top notch. Well, this has been a quick unboxing and review of the Mega Sg from Analogue. Hope you enjoyed my review. Hope I had some worthwhile things to say. It's a great little console. Its price is a little high, but if you really want to get one, I recommend going for it. If you want to play 1 or 2 games and then that's about it, you don't really care about it, I would recommend not getting it. It's not worth it if you don't enjoy that kind of thing. If you don't enjoy old games, if you're like, I want to play one for 5 minutes and then move on with my life, maybe get one of those little handhelds. Maybe you get one of those other clone systems that are a lot cheaper. But if you enjoy playing this stuff, if you enjoy retro gaming, I would say pick one up. It's a good value, especially when you consider it does Genesis, Master System, Sega CD, out of the box, assuming you have a Sega CD hardware, and soon they're coming out with adapters for the Game Gear, so that's a lot of stuff you can play, which is awesome. So you essentially have one system and you can have stacks of games for all of it. But I hope this has been somewhat informative. Please check out my other video of the M30 wireless controller that was designed for the Mega Sg. I did that one last week. That arrived on Sunday, this arrived on Tuesday, so try and knock these out. Great little controller. One quick thing about the controller, it turns on instantly. Like you push the start button for half second and it's on. Whereas the Super Nintendo variant, you have to push and hold for maybe 2 seconds. Definitely connects a lot faster. Between the two, I really do like the Genesis controller more. So again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and have a great day and keep gaming. Bye bye.